I've been speaking to a lot of people over the last few weeks, and one of the biggest questions that comes up is about our preferential voting system and how that works. It bamboozles a lot of people, so don't feel special because it can be confusing. So what I'm going to do is try and explain this to you the best I can. Now, I've drawn a diagram. Excuse my childlike drawings. I'm not a teacher and I don't pretend to be, but I'm going to give it a really good crack because it's actually really important. And this is how an independent like me can be elected against the odds in one of our very safe seats. So here we go. I've drawn this diagram. Over here, I've got a mock-up ballot system, or a ballot paper, sorry. So in this mock-up ballot paper, there are 8 candidates. So I've drawn 8 little boxes and put my name next to one of them. Now mine is next to the 4th box because in this mock-up ballot paper, I was drawn out 4th. And it's random, so you never know who's going to be where on the box until just before the election. So I was 4th, and here I am here. So if you're wanting to vote for me, you put a 1 in the box next to my name. And you can see me here, Kirsty Smolensky. That's how it will be written, or something like that. Put a 1 in the box next to me, and then 2, 3, 4, however you want. It's not up to me where your preferences go. It is up to you to put down your preferences here. So you might want to put 2 here, 3 here, 4. You might like those people. You might not like these others. 6, 7, 8, for example. There you go. Once you're numbered 1 to 8, you've voted. I'm just going to write that in for you. So 1 there, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8. It'll look like that. You'll have numbered every box. Your vote counts, and the numbers there are really important. They're your preferences. After me, number 1, thank you. Then you've put in your preferences. So then we go over to the next part of the graph. Now, over here, I've got a line here, 50%. If you get over 50% of the vote after preferences, you win. So the good people from the Electoral Commission have counted up all your votes and they've put them in piles. And they've put them in piles of all the candidates, biggest to smallest, who got the most first preferences. That's a number 1 next to their name. Right down, so this person got second, so they got the second highest number of number 1s next to their name, 3rd highest, 4th highest, 5th highest, so on. Okay, so now this is where the magic happens. Over here, the 8th pile, the smallest pile, they get crossed off first and their preferences are distributed. And they're distributed to however those voters put them into their ballot paper. So I'm just going to do that for you. So we cross them off and we put them over here. Now in this happy little scenario, all those people here who preferenced this person first, preferenced me second. So they end up on my pile. Thank you very much. Then we come to the second smallest pile. They've got about 5,000 votes, perhaps only 1,000 only 1 vote less than, or it might be 1,000 vote less than this person. It doesn't matter. It's less. So they are next to be distributed. So we cross them off. Now with their preferences, half went to this pile and half went to this pile. They might not have liked my policy very much, and that's democracy, so that's absolutely fine. But we can see now that we've got 6 piles left, and number 6 is the next smallest. So they've got 5 and a bit thousand votes there. That's after preferences. So we're crossing them off the list and we're distributing their preferences. Now this is where it gets interesting, because this third smallest pile, they've given 5,000 of their preferences to me and about 2,500 to number 4. That means that my pile is now bigger than number 4. So instead of me getting crossed off the list next, it's number 4 that has the next smallest pile. So we're going to cross them off the list. Now I might have made a little bit of a mistake there with how big number 3's pile, but we're not going to worry about that. It's this, we get to the same conclusion. Okay, so now you can see my pile has actually grown. A lot of number 4's actually ended up on my pile. They might have liked my policies, again, more than the major parties, and that's the beauty of preferential voting. So now we look here. We've got the third biggest pile here. Well, it was the third biggest pile, but now mine's bigger. That means that they are the next to be crossed off the list and have their preferences distributed. Again, because a lot of people have been saying put the majors last, I've received a lot more of those preferences than the major parties. Actually, this one's received none, and that's probably not realistic. They probably should have received some by now. I might just change that. I'll take half off that one and put it there, which puts this one quite close to the line, a little bit frightening. But if we have a look here at how many votes are now on my pile, if we count them up, they are now more, because of the preferences being put on top, they are now more than the second pile. So that means that the second pile is the next one to be crossed off the list. Now the beauty about this is that these two piles don't like each other very much. I can guarantee that this pile will have preferenced me before this pile, which means this pile, most of the preferences will go on to my pile. And have a look at that. I'm over the 50% mark. I win. And that is how you get an independent elected from fifth place on the ballot, fifth place on the ballot with about 10,000 votes. It's doable. Now, this is not quite realistic. However, with 15,000 votes, it's very realistic. So don't think it can't be done. If you have a look at what we've done here, crossing off the smallest piles, and then what happens with those preferences, this is why preferential voting system is so important for our smaller parties, because it actually gives them a chance. And for someone like me, an independent, without the backing of a major party or big groups, etc., this is how I can be elected. So, happy days.